02:06 local time, Northern Atlantic. The ocean was quiet, not calm, quiet. The kind of quiet that only exists far from shipping lanes, where darkness swallows the horizon and the sea feels endless. A U.S. Navy surface action group moved steadily through international waters, radars rotating, sonar listening, formations tight, routine patrol, until the silence broke. The first contact, 0208 hours. A sonar operator leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Contact, bearing 095, very faint. The display showed a whisper, not a clear return, not random noise, something deliberate. The anti-submarine warfare officer stepped closer. Classification? The operator hesitated. Possible submarine, running extremely quiet. That single sentence changed everything. Why submarines don't announce themselves? Submarines don't chase. They wait, they listen, and when they reveal themselves, even accidentally, it's usually because they want something to be known. That was the fear now. Unverified, contact or shadow. Unverified. OSINT assessments later suggested the contact might have been a Russian attack submarine operating under strict emission control. Analysts debated whether it was tracking the US fleet or simply letting itself be detected. That distinction mattered because one is coincidence, the other is intent. The fleet adjusts. 0211 hours. The US commander ordered a subtle change. Shift formation, increase spacing, passive sonar only. No active pings, no aggressive maneuvers. The goal wasn't to scare the contact, it was to understand it. The second signal, then it happened. 2:14 hours. The sonar picture exploded with noise, not chaotic noise, structured, loud. Multiple returns appeared at once, fast, erratic, spreading outward like ripples. The operator's voice rose. Sir, multiple new contacts. Rapid movement. The ASW officer froze. Those weren't torpedoes, but they weren't nothing either. Decoys. Experienced sonar teams know the sound. Submarine decoys. Devices launched to confuse, distract, and overload sonar systems, mimicking the acoustic signature of a submarine or torpedo, and launching them is never accidental. Unverified. Decoy type. Unverified reporting later suggested the decoys matched profiles consistent with Russian self-propelled acoustic countermeasures, capable of moving independently and altering sound patterns. This was never officially confirmed, but the effect was immediate. The water turns chaotic. 0216 hours. The sonar screen became crowded. One contact split into three. Three became five. Some moved fast. Others slowed suddenly. A few appeared to reverse course. The operator struggled to keep up. I can't isolate the original contact anymore. That was the point. Why decoys are dangerous. Decoys aren't weapons. They're decision disruptors. They force commanders to ask impossible questions. Which contact is real? Is there a torpedo hiding among them? Is the submarine escaping or circling back? And while those questions are debated, time disappears. The command dilemma. 0218 hours. The fleet commander faced a brutal choice. Activate active sonar and reveal positions to everything underwater. Launch helicopters and escalate the encounter, or wait and risk being outmaneuvered. None of the options were safe. Unverified. Second sub. As the decoys spread, an unverified sonar return appeared far off to the north, faint, slow, and steady. Some analysts later speculated this could indicate a second submarine, using the decoy launch as cover. Others argued it was ocean noise. No confirmation was ever made, but the possibility lingered. The fleet holds. 0220 hours. The commander made his decision. Maintain passive. Do not pursue decoys. Track anomalies only. Calm. Measured. The fleet would not chase ghosts. The decoys keep moving. For several minutes, the decoys continued their dance, spreading wider, changing speed, deliberately drawing attention away from the original contact. Then, just as suddenly, some went silent, others powered down. A few drifted aimlessly. The chaos began to thin. The original contact returns. 0225 hours. Through the fading noise, a single faint return re-emerged. Same bearing, same depth, different position. The submarine, if that's what it was, had moved significantly. Unverified. Maneuver complete. Unverified assessments later suggested the decoy launch may have allowed the Russian submarine to reposition into a more advantageous tracking location, or to disengage entirely without detection. Either outcome was concerning. the message behind the move. Launching decoys near a surface fleet is not defensive. It's communicative. It says, "We are here, we know you're here, and we can complicate your picture whenever we choose." The stakes rise. 2:28 hours. The fleet commander stared at the updated plot. The submarine had not attacked, had not fled, had simply demonstrated capability. And that demonstration carried weight, because the next step, whatever it might be, would not be accidental. It would be chosen. The ocean goes quiet again. As the decoys faded and the sea returned to silence, one truth became unavoidable. This encounter was not over. It had merely shifted phase. And somewhere beneath the dark water, a Russian submarine was still listening, still watching, still deciding what to do next. The countermove. 02:31 hours. The ocean had gone quiet again. Too quiet. On the flagship, the fleet commander studied the plot where the decoys had faded. One faint contact lingered at the edge of confidence, barely above background noise. He made the call. Deploy Airborne ASW, controlled, no active pings. A single helicopter lifted from the deck, rotors beating softly into the night, hugging the waves as it moved downrange. Not aggressive, investigative. The sky listens. 02:35 hours. The helicopter reached the suspected area and lowered a passive sonobuoy. No loud ping, no announcement. Just a sensor slipping beneath the surface to listen. Seconds passed, then minutes. The acoustic feed crackled. The operator leaned in, getting propulsion harmonics, intermittent, bearing drifting. The submarine was still there, or something that wanted them to think so. Unverified, decoy after effect. Unverified analysis later suggested the Russian submarine may have used the decoy field to mask a depth change, altering its acoustic profile and exploiting thermoclines to blur tracking. If true, it was textbook and effective. The sudden spike, 02:39 hours. A sharp tone cut through the calm. Possible high-speed transient? The sonar operator called out. The display flashed briefly, a fast-moving return, then gone. Not sustained, not clean. The ASW officer stiffened. That could be nothing, or it could be a test. Why this moment is dangerous. Submarines don't fire torpedoes casually, but they do simulate a brief burst of speed, a rapid course change, a momentary acoustic cue, enough to see how the other side reacts, enough to learn. The fleet holds its nerve. 02:41 hours. No alarms, no emergency maneuvers. The commander spoke evenly. Maintain course. No weapons release. The helicopter widened its orbit, dropping a second buoy. Still passive. The message was restraint, but restraint with eyes open. Unverified. Torpedo alert debate. Later, unverified reporting suggested some operators briefly classified the transient as torpedo-like, while others dismissed it as cavitation noise or a decoy remnant. No consensus was reached, and that uncertainty mattered. The submarine moves again. 02:45 hours. The faint contact shifted bearing, slowly, deliberately, not fleeing, repositioning. The submarine was maneuvering to stay outside a comfortable engagement envelope while maintaining awareness of the fleet, a professional move, a confident one. The American adjustment. The commander adjusted the chessboard. Expand screen, increase spacing another mile. Destroyers eased outward, widening the defensive arc without changing speed or posture. No challenge, no chase, just geometry. Unverified. Second platform, at the same time, an unverified contact flickered briefly far astern, too weak to classify, too brief to pursue. Some analysts later speculated it could indicate a second Russian platform, coordinating loosely with the first. Others called it sea clutter. Nothing was confirmed, but the possibility was logged. The submarine disengages. 02:51 hours. The lingering contact thinned, then vanished. Not abruptly, gradually, as if slipping into deeper, quieter water. The helicopter loitered for several more minutes, then recovered aboard its ship. The ocean returned to baseline. Aftermath at command. Condition yellow remained. The commander gathered his staff. "This was deliberate," he said. "They wanted to see how we'd sort signal from noise." The ASW officer nodded, and we didn't take the bait. Why the decoys matter. Launching decoys near a fleet is not about escape. It's about measuring discipline. Do they chase? Do they light up the ocean with active sonar? Do they reveal tactics? This time, the answers were disappointing. for the submarine. Unverified. Strategic readout. Unverified assessments later suggested Russian planners concluded the fleet demonstrated high confidence under uncertainty, a trait that complicates future probing. Confidence forces escalation to be clearer and riskier. The quiet message. No missiles flew, no torpedoes ran hot, but a message was exchanged beneath the waves. We know you can confuse us, and you know we won't panic. In undersea warfare, that mutual understanding is powerful and dangerous. The unofficial end. By dawn, the fleet resumed normal patrol posture. Logs were sealed. Data was forwarded. Analysts began replaying minutes of sound again and again, looking for patterns. Because decoys are temporary, lessons are not. In the deep ocean, dominance isn't about who fires first, it's about who controls uncertainty. That night, a Russian submarine proved it could muddy the water, and a US fleet proved it could navigate through it, calmly, deliberately, without giving anything away. The sea fell silent, but both sides were listening.